Rapid Solicitors, sponsors of the Elite Ice Hockey League on Sky Sports. Accident compensation and medical negligence claims.
It's taken a while, but we've finally arrived north of the border. It is the Rapid Solicitors Elite Ice Hockey League highlight show with a Scottish twist. Hello and welcome to the Rapid Solicitors Elite Ice Hockey League highlight show. This week from a very chilly Murrayfield ice rink where the Edinburgh Capitals are taking on the Hull Stingrays. We've got plenty for you in the show tonight. We'll hear from both player coaches and the owner of the Edinburgh Capitals, Scott Neal. But before that, let's rewind back to Friday when it was our first live game of the season where the Sheffield Steelers took on the Belfast Giants at the Motorpoint Arena.
This was a huge game at the top of the table. Leaders Belfast Giants going into the barn of the Sheffield Steelers. First chance of the night for Pele, denied by De Caro now. Giants may have the lead, but the Steelers have games in hand to go top and go clear. It's such a big night for both sides, but as I said, that chance, Clark feeds Pele and De Caro denies him. Now, the Belfast Giants were outshot 11-10 in the first period. In fact, the Steelers had 35 shots in the game to Belfast 28. But the clear-cut chances in the first period were going to the Belfast Giants. Pele again, then Mason wide. So certainly the Steelers leading a charmed life. It was no surprise when the Belfast Giants got this move together. Mason into the offensive zone, Peacock left-hand side, tic-tac-toe, and the goal is from Pele. 12:43 gone. Lovely free-flowing move from Belfast Giants. Doug Christensen doesn't look happy. I'm sure he was. Those Belfast Giants fans were happy. Look, Mason, Peacock, Pele, easy peasy in one motion into the back of the net. So the Sheffield Steelers behind. They haven't lost at home in the league this season. They had that record to protect. So that sparked them into the life, and into the offensive zone comes Finity. He goes just wide. The Steelers started to create the chances and started to come into the game. In fact, that drew a penalty, and the Steelers went on the power play as Finity was impeded, but it was a good move from the Sheffield Steelers in the terms of Finity getting the chance in on net. And they started to get some inroads. Then it's King right on the doorstep trying to get away past Murphy. But Murphy looked to be having one of those nights when he was not to be denied. Look, Mason at one end. This is second period action now. And Phillips into the offensive zone, comes away from defenseman, and he is pulled back. That's a good penalty to take, denies the chance. It's not a penalty shot situation. There was another player there, and Phillips goes down. So we see the Steelers go on the power play. And they did start to have chances on that power play, but then the Giants came back into the game in the second session. Another chance for Pele, right-hand side, very much involved in so much that the Belfast Giants do. Pele once more, just across the left-hand side. At the other end, the Steelers were just working it hard. King once more right on the doorstep. There's all sorts of players there. And Ramsey as well, he can't find his way through. The Steelers beginning to feel as though it wasn't going to be their night. Time was beginning to run out as well. This time it's Jonathan Phillips right on the doorstep. Could they find a way through as the clock tipped down? It really was becoming a frustrating night for Sheffield Steelers and their player coach, Ryan Finity. That time Trudel out in front, but he was denied. Certainly, there was chances coming the Steelers' way, and you felt in the third period momentum was on their side. Now, watch this here. The Belfast Giants want a hand pass. It's inconclusive there. You can see them ask for it. We're into the final minute. The power play to the Steelers has just ended. And Finity out in front for Tate. It's 1-1 with just 42 seconds remaining. Joy on that Steelers bench and for their fans. Look how Sheffield work it. They work it so nicely. Phillips with the pass to Finnerty behind the net, and Ashley Tate out in front. He is absolutely thrilled. What a pass, what a threaded pass into the front of the slot by the Sheffield Steelers player coach Ryan Finnerty. And Tate, so often Sheffield's leader, gets the game-tying goal. Into overtime then, and it was already, you could feel going into the overtime that the momentum with the Sheffield Steelers. Here they're laying siege on the net. Shot from Burnstall. Play comes out. Now a very controversial moment at the time. Into the offensive zone comes Legree. Legree shoots and scores and wins the game. Now the Belfast Giants were convinced it was offside, and you're going to see Doug Christensen come across the ice in a moment. But slow-mo replays and freeze frames have shown that it was onside. Legree just had his trailing leg on the line, so the officials got that one spot on. But you could perhaps understand at the time why the Belfast Giants staff were frustrated. Doug Christensen was angry there, as you saw, going across to remonstrate with the referee, but you see Legree's shot once more. And of course, Aaron Clark at the end of the game went over to remonstrate with Andy Carson. He ended up hitting him as well, and he's got himself a 6-game ban for that. Frustration for the Giants, but delight for Sheffield. Sheffield 2, Belfast 1.
Well, what a game that was, and what a finish for the Steelers. Well, on the same night, our hosts tonight, the Edinburgh Capitals, were in Nottingham. Here's Chris Ellis.
Second place Nottingham looking above them to close the gap on the Belfast Giants. They have games in hand on them, and beneath them Sheffield Steelers closing the gap rapidly, and the Steelers have plenty of games in hand. Right hand side, Lakovic and Matthew Myers combine. Myers takes up the mantle behind the net and out in front, leaves it for Guy Lepine right hand side, and Lepine cuts in, and then Clark's mishit shot falls nicely for Lakovic. 1-0 Nottingham, 4:56 gone, the 13th of the season for Robert Lakovic. Still again Nottingham playing well from back to front. This time Lee for Francis pulls the move on the defenseman. You think that he's going to pass, he doesn't. He beats him, all ends up, and it is 2-0 Nottingham at 6:19. Into the second session, and Lakovic and Myers combine to break up the play. It's Myers' pass, and it comes to Harima, who breaks through and scores. 23:01, Nottingham leading and very much in control at 3-0. Then they went on the power play, and they certainly looked good on this one. It was just great movement between a number of players. Initially it was Francis, then Myers, and the final touch there was by Benedict for a 10th of the season. By this time Nottingham had lost Scott Champagne to an eye injury, and also they were to lose Danny Myers, who got a nasty hit on the boards. So Nottingham losing players rapidly, but no matter, they certainly wanted to make some more good plays and entertain the fans. At the moment it's Fox and Beauregard combining. In fact, numerous players involved in this play. Good work on the boards there by Lakovic, and Nottingham certainly looking the stronger side. In fact, it's Harima who gets it at the back door. The assists in the end going to Beauregard and Fox. That with 1 minute and 5 to go in the second session. Edinburgh did get on the score sheet in that second session. It was a troublesome night for them, but they certainly found things tough going. But they weren't to be denied, and they were to break Kowalski's shutout. Nottingham failing to clear the zone. A couple of times they got the chance to clear that zone. Haleko working hard left-hand side, and it was Mackenzie who got Edinburgh's first goal of the night. So Nottingham went into the third period with a 5-1 lead, and then one end of the ice to the other. Nottingham were doing this quite nicely, but it was Edinburgh who stole the puck and came away. Good movement from them. Look at this, it's a 3-on-1 break, and the goal is from Haleko. Sembergs and Menton get the assist. So that's 5-2. Could we be seeing the start of a famous comeback for the Edinburgh Caps? Well, this fell nicely for the Panthers to break left-hand side. It's all about Fox here, who keeps it in the zone. What a play. Fox beats the defenseman. He's going to shoot, is he? It's Beauregard who gets the final touch for a 22nd goal of the season. Final score, Nottingham Panthers 6, Edinburgh Capitals 2.
Well, I'm joined by Edinburgh player coach Richard Hartman. Richard, first of all, I want to talk about Friday night and your loss to Nottingham. What happened?
Nottingham had a great team, and we shot off the bench, and we had just two pair of defensemen, and after a while we got tired, and I can say they were a better team, so they deserve to win.
Now, it's your first year in Edinburgh. How is it treating you?
It's awesome city. I met a lot of good friends in here and a lot of good people. So far I'm happy.
Now, Edinburgh didn't have a great season last season. Talk to me a bit about the lineup that you chose this year.
I never thinking about the past. I always looking forward. So I never was looking what happened last year. We want to play this season and how we will play better. But we'll see at the end of the season how we do.
So what are your hopes for the Edinburgh Capitals this season? Is it to finish the highest out of all the Scottish teams?
I don't know. We want to play we want to make our fans happy and play the nice hockey. And if we win, we are happy. And I hope we will win more games like we did today or till now.
Now you're playing Hull tonight. How are you feeling? Are you confident?
We're always confident. We want to play hard. Like I said, we want to make our fans happy. So we will play hard, and I hope we will win.
I wish you the very best of luck.
Thank you.
Well, time now to take a break, but don't go anywhere as we have plenty more for you around the corner just after this break.
Sponsors of the Elite Ice Hockey League on Sky Sports. Sponsors of the Elite Ice Hockey League on Sky Sports.
Hello and welcome back to the Rapid Solicitors Elite Ice Hockey League highlight show. Now in a moment we'll be talking to Hull Stingrays player coach Sylvain Cloutier, but first let's see how they got on Saturday in Braehead. Here's Chris Ellis.
A match between two of the sides looking to break into the Elite League's top 5, and after a scoreless first session, Hull took the lead with a great goal. Dooley shaped to shoot, went to the back door and in the right circle was Jeremy Tendler, a 15th goal of the season, 26 seconds in to the second session. Braehead found things tough going, but they levelled with a real bit of perseverance from McPherson. Left side he is now, behind the net, still he's strong, beats off the challenge, comes out in front away from a defenceman, and that is 1-1. Lovely, neat solo goal. So 16:53 into period 2, we're tied at 1-1. Just 16 seconds into the third session, great pass from Galbraith, and Krestanovic has an 11th goal of the season, so it's 2-1 to the home side. Still, third session, still early doors, only 2:37 in, and this time Campbell and Phillips combine, and in the slot is Krestanovic. He won't miss from there, so 3-1, and Braehead have turned things around. Still, more time for more goals, and this time it's a neat 1-2 involving Phillips and Bayrak breaks into the offensive zone. Goal number 21 of the season, a great season for him, so we are 4-1 game. The final goal of the game went the Hull Stingrays' way, and again to Tendler, who this week earned high praise from his coach Sylvain Cloutier for his recent performances. There's his goal, it's the 16th of the season, but it was too little, too late for the visitors. Final score, Braehead Clan 4, Hull Stingrays 2.
So I'm joined here by Hull Stingrays player coach Sylvain Cloutier. Sylvain, first off, talk a bit about your game on Saturday. You lost to Braehead. What happened?
Yeah, it was a tough loss. Obviously, we were a short bench, and still proud of the guys. We battled right to the end. We had 11 skaters play last night, and it was a 1-1 game going into the third, and then, you know, the wheels kind of fell off a little bit. We were tired, but the guys fought hard right till the end, and you got to give them credit for that.
Looking in from the outside to the Hull Stingrays, it might be fair to say that you've not had the greatest start to the season.
No, I guess if you look at it that way, I mean, as a coach, we looked at who we played, and to play Nottingham, Belfast, Sheffield, Coventry's the first 10 games. I mean, that was a pretty tough schedule, and lately we've played some of the teams that are supposed to be in our league, Edinburgh, Braehead, Dundee, and Fife, and if you go back and take a look at a bit of the stats, I think we might be a game under 500 in our last 10 games. So we've picked it up a little bit. We're starting to steal points. Stole the big point off Sheffield last week. So we got to build on that. We got a few games left before Christmas, and we got to try to take points.
Looking ahead to the second half of the season, what are you hoping for? You're hoping for a bit more of a positive one?
Yeah, obviously our goal is to make the playoffs, and obviously knock someone off when it comes time for the playoffs. And yeah, obviously we want to do better. And like we said, we just want to stick together and keep competing every night and keep it close and gives ourselves a chance to win a hockey game.
What areas do you need to work on to get to that stage?
Obviously, we got to create more offense. you know, we've been losing a lot of games. I think we lost 10 games by the score of 3-2 or 2-1 this season. So we need our guys to step up, the guys that are brought in to score goals, to start scoring goals for us. And we've really tightened up at the back end. We're doing a really good job in front of Boucher. So if we can start scoring a couple of goals and stealing some of those games that we lost by 1 goal, you know, if you take those 10 games, we win half of those, I mean, that's another 10 points for us, and we'd be higher up in the standings, and then maybe we wouldn't be talking about such a bad start.
You're playing Edinburgh tonight. How are you feeling confident?
Well, obviously it's a big match. I mean, they've beaten us twice this season so far, once at home and once here. So, you know, we got to come out and be very patient tonight and be disciplined and make sure we play our game and we don't go out there and play their game.
I wish you the very best of luck.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sylvan. Well, we'll let Sylvan go and prepare for the game tonight. But time now to look at the rest of Saturday's action.
The Coventry Blaze have played in some huge games in recent years to win Elite League championships, to win cups, but none were bigger than this one in the Sky Dome. They needed the people of Coventry and beyond to come out and support them in their financial plight. Things tough at the Sky Dome at the moment, and they needed people to come out and support them, and they did. A crowd of 2,000 plus in at the Sky Dome, and great stories of former players helping them out, players in the league now, other players from other teams helping them out. Now, while I've been talking, the Steelers have been on the 5-on-3, having some chances, and wouldn't you know it, the first goal of the night to the man that left them, that had to be released because of their financial problems. Luke Foljam's 14th goal of the season. Park and Phillips were in the box for the Coventry Blaze. The 5-on-3 goal coming in the favour of the Steelers. Now, the Steelers playing 3 games in 3 nights. This was the second of them, and Coventry levelled the rebound there from Guthrie, a 13th goal of a productive season for him. So we're tied at 1-1 in the third period. In fact, going into the final minutes, who would have that extra step and be able to win the game? Well, Legree breaks right-hand side for the Steelers, and it's Ramsey's 8th goal of the season, short-handed as well. Time of that goal, 55-37. So the Steelers, they need to win to take their Challenge Cup group to a final decider against the Cardiff Devils at the end of the month. So it's important for them to win this game. Now, Coventry nearly level, bad bounce on the boards, but breakaway from the Sheffield Steelers. Hewitt and Squires combine nicely. They work the walls well. And also Hewitt there in the corner and behind the net. He's very strong. He's looking very good indeed. And then Phillips comes out from behind the net and then just lifts one, a looping one, a floater into the back of the net. And the Steelers do take it to a winner-takes-all decider against the Cardiff Devils. Final score in the Sky Dome, Coventry 1, Sheffield 3. After their overtime defeat on Friday to the Sheffield Steelers, Belfast travelled to Scotland to face the Five Flyers, a potential banana skin for them, and they were on the penalty kill early in the first period. Danny Stewart heavily involved from left side, also Bowie, then Dutium, and the Belfast Giants just kind of being run ragged on this power play at the moment, not managing to get a touch. All sorts of scrambles in front of the net. The final touch, you barely see it, but it's from McAlpine. It's a 3rd goal of the season, and it's 1-0. Five Flyers at 4:49. But Belfast, well, they are not top of the table for nothing. It's power play time for them too, and they're moving around really nicely. They have strong puck possession. McBride has it in the right circle, drops it off for Pele. Pele for Garside. Garside just twists and turns and then goes towards the net. And then a great pirouette, a great spin from Mason. A 9th goal of the season at 10:22. We're tied at 1, and we very much have a great game into the second session. So second period action, and the Belfast Giants coming forward once more. They were to outshoot the Five Flyers 49-20 in the game, including 18 shots in this second session. And they certainly laid the Alamo towards the goal of Garrett Zemlak. But all sorts going on here, all sorts of scrambling, but then it falls nicely with Zemlak out of position, and Dignard gets his 4th goal of the season at 25:09. Into the third session now, and the Belfast Giants looking to make the game secure. The shot from Dignard there from the point. It's picked up right-hand side, and the final shot there is from Crane. Final score, Fife 1, Belfast 3.
So I've replaced Sylvan Cloutier with one of the owners of the Edinburgh Capitals, Scott Neils. Scott, the Caps this year, they seem to be having a better year than last.
Yeah, I think we're competing well in our half of the league against the clubs in and around us, we've won most of our games. So they're almost like 4-point games for us, and if we can pick up any points off the big teams, then that would be great. But we really try and concentrate on knocking off the teams in and around us.
So what's different this year to last year?
I think we've just worked hard at building a better network of people around the club. Matthew Tailford's came in and been a tremendous help, and it's provided a bit of confidence and investment. I think the players themselves, a lot of our British players from last year, are really experienced, by going through what we went through, and they've upped their game this year. They've taken that into this year. Our coach is working really well with them, and they're responding well. So I think a lot of things are going well in that respect. I don't think we've maybe got quite the depth to take on the bigger teams, but we guys are working hard, which is good.
Now, last season you were a very busy man. You were pretty much doing every job under the sun. Is it a conscious decision that you've kind of taken your foot off the gas a bit?
No, I actually probably still work as hard as we ever did, but we've got more people around the club now, so all the decisions and if there's any major problems, they're now a shared burden, which is good.
Let's talk about the weather a bit, because we are in December now. The weather's getting slightly more colder than it was a few months ago. Last year you had a bit of an issue with the bad weather affecting the games. Have you got anything in place for this year?
Well, last year, it was our worst winter in the last 20 or 30, and it just happened over a period of time when we had a lot of big income gates, I think 6 in that 3-week period. So that had a huge impact on us. This year we've spread out our games over December and January a bit, and we don't have any of our real big ones apart from our game on the 27th against Cardiff, great capital skate. We make that into a big event, and also Hockey Hupney against Fife. There are 2 big games that hopefully the weather will be good for, and we'll get good crowds in.
Now, how good business-wise is it to have 4 Scottish teams in the league now?
It's been essential for us. I mean, we went for, I think, 7 years as the only Scottish team, and it not only impacts your sort of having local rivalries, you don't get a lot of travelling fans coming, which creates a good atmosphere, but for the players themselves, having to do the travelling up and down the country, it takes a big toll on them, and then that reflects on performances. So having 4 teams in Scotland's been a great benefit to everybody, I think.
So finally, what's next with Edinburgh Capitals? Onwards and upwards?
Yeah, I think we're just trying to consolidate this season, have a fairly steady season where we can build confidence again and build the club up, and work towards a better future.
Brilliant, thanks Scott. Well, time now to take a break, but don't go anywhere, as we've got plenty more action for you from the Rapid Solicitors Elite Ice Hockey League.
Sponsors of the Elite Ice Hockey League on Sky Sports. Sponsors of the Elite Ice Hockey League on Sky Sports.
Hello and welcome back to the Rapid Solicitors Elite Ice Hockey League highlight show here on Sky Sports. Now, it's not long till face-off here in Edinburgh, but let's keep it Scottish and head over to Sheffield, where the Braehead clan are the visitors.
Drew, the first chance we've had to speak to you since taking over with the clan. How has it been these last 3 months?
Well, certainly it's been a challenge, but something that's been quite enjoyable. It opens my eyes up to what the rest of the coaches do in this league, playing and coaching at the same time. But it has been a great challenge, and something that's, like I said, has been very enjoyable for myself.
One of the biggest challenges to you, I've written and I've spoken about the lack of depth that you have, and that must be a big issue for you as a coach.
Yeah, I mean, certainly the depth within our team and some of the other teams in the league certainly is our biggest challenge. You've seen in the last few weeks, we certainly it challenged us. We had a few injuries. You know, when you have one, it's difficult, and especially when you lose a player like we did with Jordan, our captain, for 3 weeks. It certainly hurts us, but when you lose a couple other guys, your depth really becomes a factor to us. You know, I had a lot of guys play a lot of minutes, and you could see in the last 3 games we played, we were certainly a tired hockey team. We were able to grind out a few wins, but as the season goes on, certainly when we play the upper echelon of teams, it makes it difficult to compete with them on a nightly basis.
Young Walker, Hayward, are they getting better though by the experience that they're having and the ice time that they're getting?
You know what, I really didn't know a lot about those two, but they certainly have stepped up. Like I said, I had a lot of guys have to step up and play a lot of extra minutes. Matty Haywood, I've been very impressed with him. Adam Walker, Kevin Phillips, all these guys have done a fantastic job for our team so far, and I really think they're going to be good hockey players come in the future.
What about the off-ice challenges? It's a small staff you have up in Braehead, and you're there promoting the team, trying to create this new franchise. How has that been?
Certainly, I mean, obviously I wasn't here last year with the team at all, but they've certainly progressed to this year, where we see our fan base from the beginning of the season, you know, climb, and the people in the office, Kirsty, my manager, they've really done a fantastic job. They work a lot of hours, and the job that they're doing is certainly showing in the stands for us.
Let's talk about tonight. Unfortunately, we see you, as nice as you look in the new suits, you're not playing this evening. This is a Sheffield team that's on a great roll right now. How are you going to try and stop them?
Well, I mean, certainly when you come down to Sheffield, and like it was last year, they always have a fantastic hockey team. They put a good hockey team. They're well coached. I've seen it last year and again this year with their coach this year. So certainly we're here and we're trying to you know, try and steal points, as you like to say. Certainly we've been hot and cold all year. We haven't seen our best, and I'm happy with that. I mean, it's still early on in the season. I'm glad we haven't hit our stride. I think we have a lot left to give. It's certainly going to be a difficult task here tonight, but I believe you know, we have pretty much a full lineup, and we're going to give them a tough game here tonight.
Does it make it a little bit easier or a little bit different that it's their 3rd game in 3 nights?
I don't think so. You know, I've been a part when I played in North America for the years, playing 3-3 and you know, 4 and 5 games, and that last game always seemed to be sometimes easier for whatever reason. Your mind's kind of shut off to how tired your body is, and you just go out and you play a simple game. That's what we're going to try and do, and obviously we know, because we played so short for such a long time, and what tiredness can do to a team, and we're going to try and keep it simple and keep it in their end and make them come all the way up the ice to try and beat us.
Okay, we wish you well tonight.
Thank you very much.
Well, those are Drew's thoughts, and by the magic of television, we can take you now to the highlights of the game between the Sheffield Steelers and the Braehead Clan. Man with all the words is Chris Ellis.
So to the 3rd game in as many nights for the Sheffield Steelers. Turnover, Kristanovic gives the puck away, and Ryan Finnerty feeds Mike Ramsey for a goal after 47 seconds. Clinical break, and that's the way to execute a 2-on-1 break. Into the offensive zone comes Finnerty across the goal, and there you see a nice finish from Ramsey, and we are Steelers 1. Braehead 0 inside the 1st minute. Just past the 3-minute mark, it got much better. Ramsey and Burns still providing the assist for Jeff McGuee to go in 1-on-1 with the netminder. That's a neat finish as well. A neat bit of work just in front of the netminder as he pulls the trigger into the offensive zone, across the netminder, waits for him to go down and puts it in the top corner. Good angle here. You see the work is done, and McGuee is certainly on fire once again this season. Then a bout of fisticuffs. This one rolled over, I'm almost certain, from a few weeks ago. Colt King on the receiving end of a hit that night from Bruce. Gave King a few cuts, but this one was all about Colt King, and he had much the better of the fight. Some bombs with the right. Bruce trying to get going. To be fair, Bruce had his shirt over his head, but that was Colt King's win. King turning into a good power forward for the Sheffield Steelers this season. So they'll go and sit down for a few minutes and cool off. Braehead had a little luck in the 1st session, but into the 2nd session and some power play time, and they were working it around very nicely indeed, just being very patient. Galbraith there has a few digs, and it falls to Jorgensen for goal number 5 of the season for him. 1-goal game now, and the Braehead Clan travelling supporters will very much think they've got a chance in this one. Look, Galbraith has a few goes, it falls for Jorgensen, and we're 2-1, 3 minutes and 38 seconds into the second session. So how would things go now? More second period action. In fact, it's coming to a close. Stevenson on the power play in the left circle, goes towards the goal, takes there too, and finishing off the move is Jonathan Phillips for his second goal in as many nights. 1 minute and 17 seconds to go in the session. It is now 3-1 Steelers, and they have that breathing space once more. Phillips just getting the final touch right there, waiting for the chance. 3-1. Now into the third session, and the visitors needed a bit of a mountain to climb, but it's the one man that you want to get you out that hole. It's Galbraith. Good work on the wall from him, and cutting inside is his line mate Krestanovic. 13th goal of the season for him. So 3-2 at 48-13. Nice finish, and we are very much game alive. Now, Steelers coming forward at one end and the Braehead Clan break at the other. Into the offensive zone they go. This time it's led by Matt Hayward and also Brock McPherson. The final touch there going in off Jorgensen for a second goal of the night, a 6th of the season. Steelers claiming it's kicked in. You see he's driving the net there. It just hits him, I think. Steelers pretty adamant that it went in, I reckon. How high does it go? It goes in maybe off his leg somewhere. You see on that replay, though, that it is a goal. So to overtime. Pad save there from the shot from Trudel. Trudel gets it back, and Trudel scores the overtime winner in only his 3rd match as a Sheffield Steeler, and they take the 2 points. It was Trudel who had that shot. It was saved, picked up by him, spins in a circle, beats Wedderburn, and Trudel fires for the extra point. 2 points for the Sheffield Steelers. It finishes after overtime. Sheffield 4, Braehead 3.
Matt, tell me what it's been like the last three days playing those 3 tough games.
It's been pretty wearing on the guys. You know, there's a few battered and bruised guys in there. We managed to come out with 3 victories. Hard fought, you know. Every game was tough. There wasn't an easy game in there. So we're happy with the results, and hopefully Finner gives us a day off tomorrow. Yeah.
Just took us through Friday to start off with. Let's go through it. That was just an emotional roller coaster, wasn't it?
Yeah, you know, it was a back and forth game all night. Belfast is a really good team. They compete really hard, and we got a balance at the end to send it to overtime. And you know, they might think it was offside for the overtime winner, but there's been pictures, and I guess it was onside. So, you know, one bad bounce, but that's the way the game goes. You know, it's a game of bounces.
When you saw it, when Leggy got that puck, did you think, offside?
Yes.
Yeah, everybody did.
Where he picked it up, it looked like it was offside by a lot, but because the puck was over the line, it was basically from one side of the ice to the other. So by the time the puck got to him, he had already taken a couple strides in the zone, but the puck was already in the zone, so it wasn't actually offside. Yeah.
And then Saturday in Coventry, normally, of course, with Coventry out of the cup, maybe an easier ride, but with all their problems, they'd built the game up, and it was a tough battle at the Skydome.
Yeah, you know, they played really hard, and they played for their fans, and that's all you want to see, especially with a team that is struggling like them right now with their financial difficulties. You know, as a fan, you can't be mad showing up to a game and seeing your team go out there and play that hard. You know, we ended up on the fortunate end of the stick on that one as well, and we played hard, and we scored some timely goals, and Johnny stood on his head again.
Okay, well, it's that time of night. It's game time here in Edinburgh, where the Edinburgh Capitals are taking on the Hull Stingrays. Here's Chris Ellis with the highlights.
If it was goals, goals and more goals you wanted, then Murrayfield was the place to be last Sunday. Sit back and enjoy a thriller, I can tell you, and it goes one way then the other. Now, first goal of the night was Campbell on a rebound, a 4th of the season for him, 2 minutes and 31 seconds into the game. Then the home side went on the penalty kill, Goldie in the box for slashing, so a chance for the Stingrays to get their second of the night, a couple of minutes at the most with the man advantage, but would they score? Yes, they would. Andre providing the feed, and McCluskey scores. 4:19 gone. It's 2-0 to the Hull Stingrays, and what a start they've had in Edinburgh. Now, the home side needed a response. The Stingrays couldn't clear the zone, and Menton and Haleko combined. Zemberg's there with his 8th goal of the season, driving at the back door. Neat finish from him, See on the replay, drives the net. 2-1 game going into the second session. But unfortunate for the Edinburgh Caps here and for Nathan Craze. Bad bounce off the backboard. Short-handed goal for Campbell, a second of the night. Only 10 seconds in. You'll see here, he goes to get the puck. He just leaves control. And the Stingrays lead by 3-1. Wow, so 2-goal advantage. Now, the Caps turn defence into attack here. It's Hartman and Safar combining, and you'll see how they break into the offensive zone. And who else but Yarrolin for a 23rd goal of the season. What a pickup he has been by the Edinburgh Caps. He's certainly reaping the season rewards for him in Murrayfield. This was a lovely goal. Haleko into the offensive zone, drops it off there, and in the left circle, Menton with a great shot. 3-3 now, we're tied, and the Caps are coming back into the game. They have the momentum at this stage, so it was no surprise that on the power play with the extra man advantage, things were to get better. Menton and Haleko combining this time, and the man with the final touch out in front there is Zemberds, his second of the night. That's 4-3 Caps. They've come from 3-1 down. Now, Hull needed a response. Behind the net, they had some hard workers. Silverthorne, he's working the wall so well. And out in front for Tendler, a 17th goal of the season. We're tied at 4-4. You'll see, though, that Silverthorne does the dirty work there for Tendler. Then, have you seen this goal before? Not too dissimilar. Hard work behind the net. This time, though, Tendler doing more work himself. But Cloutier and Campbell combining, and Tendler scoring his second of the night and 18th of the season. So 5-4 Hull. They've pulled it back. Going into the third session. Wow, what a game. I told you this was a thriller. So into the third session, and the Stingrays in position. And it was a turnover, though. They were in the position to get themselves out in the zone. But Hartman gets the 9th of the season. We're tied at 5-5. 37 seconds into the third session. Where would the next goal go? Well, it's been so topsy-turvy, it won't surprise you to hear that Hartman and Mackenzie are the men working hard, left-hand side now, and it's Hansel to score. So at 43-11, it is 6-5 to the Edinburgh Caps. What a game. What's the time for more goals? Well, power play time for the Hull Stingrays. A crucial power play. Campbell working behind the net. And it is Tendler with his hat-trick. A 19th of the season. It is 6-6. We were going to a penalty shootout. There were no goals in overtime. So too the shootout. But before that, you'll see a good chance for Edinburgh. The shot there from Safar. And then Yarrolin as well, getting the shot in on net. And then Safar once more. It's saved. So it's level at 6-6. And as I said, we're going to a shootout. This one here, he can't get his shot away. Dominic Osmond fails there. At the other end, Hansel, no goal. We're tied at 0 then. Silverthorne has a chance, nice move, but pad save, so still no goal. Can Zembergs get on the target? Yes, he can. Neat finish. 2 goals in the game. He scores on his backhand in the shootout. So Tendler has to score. Tendler scores. He gets 3 in the game and 1 in the shootout. Can Yarrolin win it? No, he can't. So 1-1 going into the second round of shots. Osman, he's denied. Saved by Craze. Can Hansel score? Hansel pulls the move over the netminder, and Edinburgh win on penalties. 7-6, the final scoreline. Wow.
Well, a fantastic game of ice hockey there, with Edinburgh just pipping Hull to the post. We'll have reaction from both coaches right after this break.
Sponsors of the Elite Ice Hockey League on Sky Sports. Sponsors of the Elite Ice Hockey League on Sky Sports.
Hello and welcome back to the Rapid Solicitors Elite Ice Hockey League highlight show here on Sky Sports, where we've just seen the Edinburgh Capitals take a victory over the Hull Stingrays, and boy oh boy was it a cracking game of hockey that went right down to the wire. Well, I managed to catch up with both coaches. Here they are. Richard, a great game for the fans to watch. I'm not sure how your nerves are doing, but it went right down to the line. Talk me through it.
I had too much stress for that because we was losing 2 goals. We came back, we was losing again, and too much stress for me. It's hard to say, but we won. I'm happy.
You had a bit of a slow start to the first period, but by the second you'd got your game back on. I don't know what you said to me in the locker room, but it certainly worked.
I don't better say to the camera what I said at the dressing room, but I said to the guys we have to play better, and started to chase the defenseman, and we did, and we scored a few nice goals, and like I said, we won. So
you had some fantastic goals tonight, but perhaps there could have been even more.
We always playing like this. We have a lot of chances, and if we don't score the first one, then we have a hard time to score the other ones. But I'm happy we won again. Yeah,
you've got to be happy with the performance tonight.
Oh yeah, for sure. The guys worked the whole 60 minutes out, and but I said we can't play like this because it's really stressed me out. So, and my hair is coming grey.
Well, I hope not too grey. Thanks a lot, Richard.
Oh, you're welcome.
Sylvan, great game, 7-6. Great for the neutral, but not so very good for you as a coach.
No, obviously very frustrated that we didn't get the 2 points tonight. We had a game plan and tried to stick to it, and we got off to a good start, and then we got away from it. We talked about having a high man all night, and we had some of our key guys going below the goal line and having 3 guys caught, and they just come back at us in out-man rushes and little battles, little things. I mean, in front of our net, we let them a couple tap-ins, not battling with them, and you know what? We were short bench, and the guys tried their best. They worked hard, and obviously it was a good game for the fans, but as a coach, it wasn't the best game.
Still, with the injuries you're carrying, you've got to be pleased with that performance.
Yeah, I mean, we're missing 4 or 5 guys right now. It's tough. The guys are battling. They battled last night in Braehead, and to get a point tonight, obviously you got to take it. And we're disappointed we didn't get 2 points. That was our goal, was to get 2 points tonight. But now we got to refocus and get ready for next weekend. It
is a positive, though. You do take away a point.
Yeah, it's very positive. I mean, you know, we came here with 11 skaters, and we did our best. And yeah, as a coach, you want it to be better, but we'll take the point, and it's going to help us maybe later on in the standings.
What's the mood like in the dressing room at the moment?
The guys are tired, they're down, disappointed that, you know, we're up 2-0 and then gave the lead back, went back, and it was back and forth. But you know, we got to grow from it, and once we get our full team back, we got to learn to be defensive and have a high man and make sure we're committed. And you can't take chances. All the teams in this league are too good if you get caught and don't have a high guy, and they make you pay. And like I said, we'll work on it this week and get ready for next weekend.
Brilliant, thanks, Sylvan.
Thank you.
So that's what both coaches had to say. Time now for the last of the action from this weekend. Here's Chris Ellis.
This was Dundee's first home game since they released player coach Dan Seaman, and with neither side able to qualify in the Challenge Cup, there was little riding on it, except I guess for a bit of Scottish pride. Great move from Concord to come away from the wall, the rebound there by McLean, only 37 seconds gone, and the home side were ahead. The visitors rested some players, and that meant young British netminder Blair Daly played in goal, and forward came Dundee again. One attempt to clear for Fife, and another attempt there was sloppy, and then a good move was finished off by Dolan, a 9th goal of the season. Turner and Hutchins getting the assists. 2:59 only gone in the game. It's 2-0 to the Dundee Stars. And then power play time for the home side. This time Mitchell heavily involved, shoots, it is saved through traffic. It's picked up then by Brennan Turner, who just rings it around the boards. It's strong movement from the Dundee Stars, and look how they move. The man driving the net there is Zarb. The pass was from Hughes, and that's a neat goal with the extra man advantage. Power play goal at 8:49. Into the second session, and Dundee once more just moving things around quite nicely, and into the offensive zone is Turner. There's a few rebounds, Daly can't hold on to it, and Turner gets there first. The assist to Mitchell and Wishart in 7:36 into the second session. It's 4-0. Another goal. That's a neat finish. McIntosh into the offensive zone. Past Daly for 5-0. That's the way it stayed at the end of the second session. Into the third, and the Flyers get on the board. Siddle and McAlpine, they combine for Hamilton's 13th of the season. So we see the scoreline at 5-1. but still time for more Dundee Stars goals to appease their fans who have been disappointed recently. One end of the ice to the other, McIntosh and Wishart involved. Comes to McLean and he dives forward to get that one. So that's 6-1 to the Dundee Stars, and they were in 7th heaven. Good movement on the board, strong work this time from Mazur, and it comes out in front for Hutchins. Double figures now for him, a 10th of the season. The Dundee Stars win. It's the Stars 7, the Five Flyers 1.
Here's a quick look at the results from the weekend. On Friday, we saw live on Sky Sports Sheffield take an overtime win against Belfast, and also on that night, Nottingham beat Edinburgh 6-2. On Saturday, there were wins for Belfast, Braehead, Sheffield and Cardiff beat Dundee 6-2. On Sunday, Dundee beat Fife 7-1, and there's confirmation of the game we saw here in Edinburgh, and also Sheffield beat Braehead 4-3. One midweek game this week, and it saw Fife lose at home to Coventry. Paul Thompson's men taking a 4-1 victory there. So here's a look at how all that affects the league table. And Belfast are really stretching out their lead now. 6 points the difference between them and second place Nottingham. So here's what's happening this weekend then. On Saturday, Dundee travel to Belfast. Cardiff are hosting Edinburgh, while Coventry make the trip to the National Ice Centre in Nottingham to face the Panthers. Fife's trip to Sheffield complete this Saturday's lineup. 4 more games on Sunday then, and the Edinburgh Capitals are visiting Coventry. Hull play Cardiff, Dundee face Braehead, and the Flyers and the Steelers meet again, but this time in Fife. Going into next week, the busy Christmas schedule begins with Nottingham v Braehead on Tuesday, and on Wednesday, Coventry meet Braehead, and it's Hull versus Edinburgh. We're back next week, Friday the 23rd of December, with highlights of all the games leading up to the Christmas period. You can catch us on Sky Sports 3 at 6 p.m. Well, that's all we've got time for tonight. I've had a great time here in Edinburgh, and hopefully by the time I'm in Dundee next week, I will have thawed out. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week. Good night.
Rapid Solicitors, sponsors of the Elite Ice Hockey League on Sky Sports. Accident compensation and medical negligence claims.